recording my homily for Saturday, April 4th, and this is the Saturday, this is, if you will, the last Saturday before Holy Week, because Palm Sunday, which is tomorrow, technically begins Holy Week. And first things first, I want to apologize. My goal was to record my homilies every single day, and I have not done that at all. So my apologies for that. I had good intentions, but didn't quite follow through. I have been recording, though, a lot for my classes for confirmation in RCIA. So I created a separate YouTube channel for those classes. And it's open to the public. Anybody can watch them if you need something to help get you to sleep at night. A little boring. I'll put a little link down in the description on the other YouTube channel where I'm doing these classes. Maybe they'll provide you some insights or even some entertainment. I think the YouTube channel is, what is it called? I think it's Class with Father Peter. I think that's what it's called. Anyways, so I've been doing a lot of recording for that, and hence not my homilies. The gospel, or the readings for today, the first reading today is from Ezekiel. Actually, if you wanted to look it up, it's Ezekiel chapter 37, verses 21 through 28. And so let me understand a couple things first. So King David, whom he talks about, came 500 years before Ezekiel. All right? So you imagine King David 500 years ago. What happened 500 years ago? It was a long time ago, right? So think of 500 years before Ezekiel. In his writing, though, he says that one day, the two kingdoms will be united. So what is he talking about? 500 years before, with King David, there was a separation of the kingdom, right? And you had the north, which split away from the south. And then it got worse. Then you had other outside countries that came in and took over and took people into slavery, took people into exile. And the north never really became whole again after that. And so 500 years later, Ezekiel's saying in his writing today, one day, there will be one who will come and who will unite the two kingdoms back together. Now, who was part of that kingdom? The Samaritans, right? How many times does Jesus travel through Samaria and something huge happens in that area, or there's some example that he takes and says that this is the right example, that the faith of that Samaritan woman, right? Or the faith of the woman at the well, or the parable of the Good Samaritan. These are people of the kingdom that was dissolved. And yet Ezekiel's saying one day somebody will bring them back together. Okay? It says, there shall be one shepherd for them all. Beautiful, beautiful insight. My servant David shall be prince over them, and there shall be one shepherd over them all. Well, David lived 500 years before. David's not coming back. But it's a prophetic utterance that one day the son of David will be able to do that, right? And then towards the end, it has a beautiful expression that you're all familiar with, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And no more shall all these divisions be happening amongst people. Jesus will unite us. We see the fullness of that in the Catholic Church. This is not arrogance. This is just us going back. We go all the way back to Jesus Christ. This is our apostolic succession. This is the fact that we can align ourselves all the way back to the apostles and back to Jesus. And so our desire is the same as Jesus, that one day, it's the same as Ezekiel, that one day all will be united in his kingdom. His kingdom, right? Not a country, not a political entity, but in his kingdom. And right now, the fullness of that visible kingdom is in the Catholic Church. Okay? In my classes, I've been talking about baptism and how by baptism one enters into the kingdom, one enters into that family of Jesus Christ. Okay? I say that as a sign of hope. Now, as we enter into Holy Week, it feels like everything gets derailed, everything goes wrong. Right now, with everybody's outside of their normal rhythm and routine, we're all kind of stuck, right? And the best thing that we can do to keep everybody safe, the best thing that we can do is do nothing, right? Is to stay at home. And that's very frustrating. If you think even if we were at war, at least at war we could go out and do something to help people, but now it's like we're all stuck at home. What a great way to spend Holy Week, though. The purification of our own desires, of our own wants, of our own efforts, is just to walk with Jesus. Now, I'll try to record my homily for tomorrow, for Palm Sunday, and I think this gets into my message for tomorrow. Man, use this time. Use this next week to really go deep into the story of Jesus Christ. Walk with Him. Put yourself right there with Him. Tomorrow in His triumphal entry, be with Him. Feel the energy, feel the joy, and feel also just everything that's happening, and then continue with Him and be there with Him when it seemingly all falls apart. But listen to Jesus. Listen to how He speaks to you. Listen to what He's doing in your heart and transforming your heart. That's the other thing I've been talking about in my classes with the kids is, what is the purpose of the sacraments? Why did Jesus give them to us? Was it just to show up to Mass? Was it just to have a nice little ceremony for baptism? It was to be transformed, right? To be transformed. All right. I don't know, I mentioned last week in my homily how I was really kind of going through this little bit of depression, not like clinical or anything like that, but just really discouraged because I had lost my routine and everything. Well, this week's been so much better. I'm not sleeping, but still, it's been so much better. And so I feel like I'm getting back into this place where it's not my will. It's not my will, but His be done, right? So, all right. Tomorrow we're going to have the reading of the Passion. We're going to have a perfect way of entering into Holy Week. All right. So just we're putting our Mass tomorrow on Facebook at 10 a.m., right? So and at 12 p.m. in Spanish. And we're going to do all of our Masses on Facebook for the Triduum. So Holy Thursday at 7 p.m., Good Friday at 7 p.m., Easter Vigil at 8:30 p.m., and then on Easter Sunday at 10, and then at noon in Spanish. Thursday and Friday will be bilingual. So just if you want to tune in on Facebook and join us for that, that would be great. All right. God bless you all. I'm praying for you all, and take care.